Okay, everybody, it is the last Tuesday of 2021. It's the last Transformation Tuesday. It's the last Healthy Trinity show of the year before we start 2022. And everybody has their wonderful New Year's resolutions, their New Year's intentions, whatever you want to call them. We're going to all start that. Hopefully, you've already thought about that. Hopefully, you've already thought about what this new year brings for you and what you want for your life. If you haven't, I do encourage you to sit down, write it out. Don't just lay in bed and think about it. Don't just talk to somebody about it. Write them down, plan it out. The statistics for when we actually write things down and have a plan for us to fulfill those goals and those plans is exponentially higher. I want to say like 80% higher. Don't quote me on it. I do have the quote somewhere, but that's about what it is. So today's guest, as I've been advertising, is a very special guest. Everybody's special, yes, I know. But this is my personal coach. This is my personal mentor who has not only helped me through some very tough times when it comes to my health journey, but also in life, but has helped transform literally thousands and thousands of people's lives for the better and impact them in a positive way. So what I want to do is I'm just going to, as always, jump right into it. So we're going to show you who Jamil Frazier is, and then we're going to bring him on. Well, here he is, folks. This is the man, the myth, the legend. This is Jamil Frazier. Welcome, Jamil. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Man, what's up? Dude, that got me fired up, man. That was sweet. That was legit. I was like, whoa. I had no idea.
I'm telling you, man, the more I do this, the more little things I'm adding onto the show, and it just it excites me every time I see it. I get hyped up. So hopefully other people do too.
That was dope. You got pictures from 4th grade and 5th grade and super chubby days.
Remember that kid? Man, you remember him?
I do. You know, it's all part of the process. That's all right. Part of it. That's funny.
All right, everybody. Before we get started, I just want to tell you that this is an interactive show. So if you have comments, if you have questions, if you have something you just want to say, go ahead and drop it in the chat. We'll address it right here live. And then as you come in, I want everybody just to say hello. Tell me where you're coming in from, and we'll make this a big old party. All right. So, Jamil, being that you have been on this health journey for nine plus years now, and you've done some really amazing things relatively within a decade. You've transformed yourself and thousands of lives, me being one of them, and positively affecting these people. I want to, not just me, but I'm sure a lot of people out there watching this, we just want to hear, what are the origins? What's the story behind this? Where does this come from? And that's a big,
Man,
that's a big,
that
but
that is a big one. I think for me, first of all, thank you so much for having me on. When Josh asked me, I was excited. I've seen other people on, people that we both know, some people I don't know, and just felt really honored to be on this show. I've had a chance, especially in the last 2 years, to do a lot of podcasts and interviews and all these things. But you know, you guys might not know this, but Josh was one of my first clients back in 2012,
right.
and I was just a snotty nosed kid and just fired up, man. I was wanting to change my life. I still want to change my life, but I was really, really wanting to change my life. I think the origins were, um, I came up trying to do everything the right way. Went to school, knew from a young age that I wanted to be an athlete. I wanted to get a college football scholarship. Me and my buddies, that's all we focused on was sports and trying to play at a high level. I eventually got that college football scholarship, played with some amazing men, learned a lot, got out of school, ended up getting a job with a company everybody knows, Johnson and Johnson in pharmaceutical sales. Got married, got pregnant right away. And on the outside, Josh, I think everybody thought it looked good. This guy did what he's supposed to do. He's a college graduate. He's got a nice job. He's got a beautiful wife. Man, they just found out they were pregnant. That's the American dream, right?
Yeah.
But I was dying on the inside because I wasn't living in congruence. I wasn't living my life the way that I wanted to. I wasn't even sure that I wanted to continue in my marriage, and I certainly didn't want to be a father. And so all of this was happening right before I met you. I had just come out of a 2-year depression.
Yeah.
I asked my wife if she would consider having an abortion. She said no. And I knew I couldn't leave because I never had a father, certainly not the father relationship that I wanted. And I didn't want to stay because I didn't want the responsibilities. And the only thing I knew how to do was to shut myself off in a room, um, gain a whole bunch of weight, um, be pre-hypertensive, have obstructive sleep apnea. And then that's when I went on a journey to find a plan that could help me. That happened literally 4 months before I met you for the first time way back then. I went on a little health journey. It worked so well for me. I just remember being happy, man. I don't know if you remember like your first week or second week or whatever, but I
Yeah.
just remember feeling like, okay, dude, something is going in my favor for once,
Yep.
right? Like something finally is going right in this story. Like I'm losing weight, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling happy. I feel like finally something is working for me. And then they gave me an opportunity to be an independent coach and to help other people. And once I started helping people like you, Josh, as my initial clients, had a chance to really check out what was possible. I was lit on fire, man. I decided this was going to be the vehicle that was going to help me change everything. Um, and I always talk about, I was just looking for freedom. That was it. That was
Yeah.
it. I was just looking for freedom, and you know, quit my job and just decide to give my life to this and help other people change their lives and build an organization and build a life. So
Yeah.
that takes us to where we're at now. And that's what I've been doing for almost the last 10 years.
Yeah. And you've been doing an amazing job at that. It's funny, Jamil, you said the word vehicle. You got in a vehicle. And as much as I always try to explain to people about this health journey and what it is I tell people, you have to find the right vehicle for you. But you also have to want to go to where you're going,
Yeah.
right? We have to have that motivation inside of us. We have to have that forgive the pun here, drive to be in that vehicle
Sure.
to go somewhere. And some vehicles aren't going to get you there as fast as you want. Some of them will break down on the side of the road and not get you there at all. And I had this thought the other day because I was riding my skateboard, and I was like, how long is it going to take me to get from my house to my kid's school? And it took me about
Mm.
8 minutes. And then my silly mind started wandering. How long would it take me to get to San Diego? How long would it, and it just went and went. And I'm like,
Yeah,
how
yeah,
long would
yeah.
it take me to get to London? Oh, I can't go to London on my skateboard. Wait a second. I can't get there. I'm not in the right vehicle. And
Sure.
that's
Yes.
what it is. We have to find the right vehicle for us to get to where we want to go. And when it comes to our health goals, this vehicle that we're in, both you and I, that I found because of you, has been monumental when it comes to getting me to where I want to go. And it started with health. It certainly hasn't ended with health. It spreads to just about everything. If you can apply the same principles that you apply to getting healthy, to building a business, to improving relationships, to being good stewards of your finances, if you can apply those same principles that we learned here, your life greatly improves. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because I never really thought about a vehicle that way, but I think the way that you just broke it down really makes sense to me. And it's like I tell a lot of people, when I first started this, I came into this looking for physical health. And then right away I realized health is not just physical health. Health is how much time you have, your ability to do the things that you want to do, obviously your mental and your emotional well-being, your relationships, certainly your financial health. And I
Mm-hmm.
think we sort of think about it in this esoteric way to where we hear this thing health. Like I remember, Josh, right around the time you and I first started working together years and years ago, I remember approaching a chiropractor that I grew up with, and she had just opened up her new practice in Lakewood, California.
Yeah.
And she finally had given me time to be able to come in and sort of allow me to tell her about what I was doing. And I remember sitting there with her in her little office and trying to pitch her on my idea and sort of my vision and what I thought. I thought she could really help her patients with our vehicle of physical health, right? And she goes, if I'm going to share this with people, I need to be a client first, but I'm really healthy. Okay, Josh shoots 5'5". At that time, she was 228 pounds.
Mm.
But her idea of health was she wasn't on medications, right? She didn't have high blood pressure. She didn't have high cholesterol. She wasn't diabetic. But the woman is severely overweight and severely obese. And she's a medical professional.
Mm.
But she says, I'm healthy. And so I think for me, I can't speak to anyone else. For me, I just started like asking myself, what do I want?
Yeah.
If I had a blank piece of paper, white piece of paper, and I just had time to sit there and invest in myself and to write down every single area of my life, what do I want that to look like? Where do I want my physical health to be? Where do I want my mental and emotional status to be? Where do I want my financial state to be?
Mm-hmm.
See, you talk about vehicles. I work for Johnson& Johnson, one of the largest organizations, corporation companies in United States history. Every single person has probably used a J&J product, right?
Yeah.
Or has probably, so many of us have consumed some sort of J&J over-the-counter medicine, right? Or prescription. You would think that's a great vehicle for providing the financial health that you want, right? It's a good vehicle. It's not a great vehicle. You talk about your skateboard,
Right.
being a pharmaceutical and a medical sales rep for J&J. If I'm on a skateboard, it will eventually get me to San Diego. But to
Right.
your point, if I want to go to Europe, there's no way that vehicle is going to get me there. So I have to find a different vehicle that doesn't have limitations. So many of these vehicles that people are working for, spending all their time with over and over and over and over and over again, year after year, know that the farthest they're going to get to San Diego, but on that piece of paper, they put Europe. And you know what happens? Their vehicle only gets them to San Diego, maybe gets them to San Diego, probably never does.
Yeah.
And then you know what they do? They get comfortable there. They start making excuses. Well, you know what, dude, I'm never going to get to Europe. So that probably really isn't for me. Like, I'm good with just staying right here. I'm good
Yeah.
with never actually getting there. And that's what I was doing. It's part of the reason why I fell into that depression because I had lost hope. And most people lose hope. Just think about it. If you're a dog and I put you in the gate, I fence you in, and you've been
Mhm.
trying to get out that gate, bro. Trying. You try for hours, you try for days, you try for weeks, man, and you never got out. How likely is it for you to actually continue to try to get out that gate? You're going to lose hope. You're going to say
Yeah.
it's never for me. That's where I was at in my life. And honestly, when I canvassed the United States of America and the world, that's where most people are. And they get so flipping comfortable sitting right there in that damn gate that they don't even try to get out anymore. And that's
Mhm.
where I was at. And I was frustrated. I saw a vehicle that can teach me how to unlock that gate, how to walk out, and how to get to Europe. And then soon as I saw it, it didn't take 10 years or 10 months or 2 decades to start chasing it. I said, I want it now. I want to be free. And this is the
Yeah.
right vehicle. I talked to enough people. I've seen enough success. I've seen little tiny women who live in the middle of Kansas. Nothing against Kansas or tiny women. But I was like, damn, dude, if they can do it, I know I can do it.
Mhm.
Right? Just get me back to California, point me in the direction, and let's go. I'm
Yeah.
not going to squander this opportunity, and that's what people do all the time. They lose hope. They start giving up on themselves, and they squander massive opportunities, focusing on things that never is going to get them. First of all, they don't even take the time to get out a white piece of paper and to
Yeah.
write down what they actually want. Very, very, very few people do that. And the reason why they don't do it is they don't even believe they're going to get out the gate to begin with.
Right. Yeah. It's after being fenced in for so long, the gate is open and somebody's telling you to dream again. Someone's saying, "Let's go big. Give me everything you want." And they don't even want to write it down because it's not possible for them.
Hmm.
Their world has shrunk, right? I had a guest on here a couple of weeks ago, and part of her story was, she went from dreaming about moving halfway across the country to go to school, to have all these dreams, to major in whatever she wanted, and the world simply swallowed her up. And instead of dreaming 5-10 years into the future, she was just living day to day. And
Hmm.
that's how we
Hmm.
can quickly kill our dreams. But when you're given permission to dream again, I understand it's hard to say what is actually possible, but writing them down, dreaming big again, is so important to fulfilling your possibilities in life. So um, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge, but people don't understand it, Jamil. They don't believe it because we've talked to enough people. When we say realistically, I'm sorry, what are your health goals? And what do they start with? What's the first word?
Yeah.
Realistically. No, no,
Realistically.
no. No, 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 not realistically. I want your biggest dreams. Well, realistic. No, 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 no.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, that's just one thing to me that I want to give people permission to dream again,
Yeah.
right? And that's part of our mission here, and of just transforming lives. Is first of all, you have to know that you have permission to dream. You have permission to
Yeah.
do
And it
what you want.
is. I guess I'm speaking of it rather cavalier, but there's a lot of things that factor into that too. It's
Mhm.
difficult to do. I gave the illustration about you know a dog being stuck in a cage, but oftentimes it's not just us that's stuck in the cage. It's us, and there's some friends that are also in there, and some family members, and some people we really care about, and a high school pastor from 15 years ago, and a boss or a sales manager. Like there's people that's in there too that's also giving up. And so when you talk about, bro, I'm about to get out, they're like, no, no, you're not.
Nah, you're staying right here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I think a part of that is um you gotta realize who's around you too.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are scared to want to get out because they're, what's my husband gonna say?
Mm-hmm.
Or what's my wife's gonna say? Or my college professor told me that I wouldn't be able to, or nobody nobody around me is doing this. And so you really have to watch out. I call them kryptonite. You have
Mm-hmm.
to watch out for the other people that are around you that are kryptonite. That the only thing that will slow down Superman is that Lex Luthor and that kryptonite.
Yeah.
you know. And so we have a lot of people who are kryptonite in our lives. And so we need to make sure that we're constantly putting the right people around us too.
Yep.
Because oftentimes, I'm already scared to write down what I want on a piece of paper. I'm already scared to allow my mind to think about, if I could have radiant health, what would that look like? I'm already scared because I haven't done it, right? I'm already scared to say, I want to be a deca millionaire. I'm already scared to put down. I want to be able to spend my days the way that I want. If I want to get up today and go do yoga, I go do that. If I want to, go travel down to San Diego to see my friend, I want to go do that. I'm already scared to do that. But
Yeah.
then I'm going to be ultra scared if my best friend says, dude, that ain't going to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we have
Yeah.
to make sure we have the right people around us.
That's the no truer words have been spoken. People's dreams get crushed all the time by someone else's opinion that they trust.
Hmm.
But it just doesn't align with our goals. I had a friend who started this program who quickly I didn't know he wanted to keep it a secret, and I didn't understand why. But then I understood why when my other friend
Mm.
said, "Ha ha ha! You got suckered into that. Oh." Pfft. And what did he do? Quickly stopped. Very promptly, he
Yeah.
stopped. And he had been on his first week, was excited, lost 8 pounds, felt better. He had stomach issues that were starting to resolve themselves because he was treating his body correctly.
Sure.
And because of one person's opinion who he trusted, completely stopped.
Yeah. It's
Um,
unfortunate.
yeah, it's very unfortunate, and it's not only, when we talk about our surroundings, Jamil, I mean, I don't know if how you feel about this, but I also feel like not just people that we are surrounding ourselves with too, but anything visually that we come into contact with, or what we're listening to, the type of things we place in our house. Are we placing, if we have health goals, are we placing junk food in our house? Are we listening to the news that's extremely depressing all day?
Sure.
The
Sure.
extreme political view, news media out there, either side? Or are we,
Hmm.
it, what are we doing? Like, are we working towards our goals, or are we fighting our goals because of what we have around us, which is extremely important to also take into account when we're talking about our surroundings. So, um, yeah, look at Davina here says commercials are the worst. That's why I sold my TV. She doesn't even have a TV. Let's just get rid of all of it, right?
Throw everything out, baby. I love it.
Exactly. So let's jump on this, Jamil. I want to know, since we're talking about dreaming big, we're talking about putting proper surroundings in place. Um, let's talk about 2022 and how we're going to move forward. People who, like I was saying, most people have some sort of resolutions or New Year intentions or something about improving their life. Um,
Hmm.
I know for me, two of the things that I've really put into my life that have helped me a lot, that I'm still really working on, and it's a struggle at times. But one of the things I've used to um, help me live easier, live better is structure. And the other one is showing up or having intentionality in my actions. Um, and I know that's something you talk about a lot as well. And where I really learned it from was you, and how to really implement those things into my life. So, can you kind of share a couple tips with people, for structure and intentionality when it comes to this new year? How could we make that? How can we place that in our lives and help us?
Yeah, I think man, I think it's difficult. We've been talking about a lot of principles right now, but I feel like for me, I'm going into 2022 um, differently than any other year I've gone into. And I say that because, we get a chance to talk to a lot of people. And I think the last 2 years have been really, really hard for
Hmm.
human beings.
Yeah.
I think it's been unusually difficult. Like usually when I'm talking to folks, or even when I'm talking to myself, because I know I'm on here on this podcast and people look at me in a certain light. And oftentimes I still don't even see myself in that light, if I'm being honest. But it's even challenging for me moving into this new year.
Yeah.
Usually, like we move into a new year and there's so much excitement and people are fired up, man, and they're just like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna crush it. And I'm making all these plans and dreams. My sense is that a lot of people aren't even doing that moving into this year. And I think folks are just so beat down right now.
Yeah.
I think there's been just so much heaviness in the world. Um, every channel you turn on, there's divisive content. I know families that didn't spend the holidays with each other. Or they only invited a certain group of people over to, spend
Hmm.
Christmas. And so it's just like a lot of heaviness and ugliness and just craziness. And I think people just want to break, dude. I
Yeah.
think people just want to break, and they don't want to have another thing that they really have to focus on. And I understand that. And I also understand it for myself. But I also want to tell people that, and not to be morbid or anything like that, but anytime we stop fighting for what we really, really want, what we don't want will take over. Always. Let me just say that again. Anytime
Hmm.
we stop fighting for what we really, really, really want, what we don't want will take over. I know a lot of people is just saying like, um, and man, I'm gonna chill out on this whole health journey, man. Like I know I should probably be eating better, and I know I shouldn't be having, wine every night. And I know I should probably be moving and active, and I know I shouldn't. Damn, dude, I shouldn't be snacking like that. Soon as 10 o'clock hits, and I see the three zeros on the clock, and I just start, for some reason, my feet just start moving towards the pantry, towards the cookies and stuff that,
I
I
can't
know
help it.
Josh said I should probably, not have those things around me, but for some reason I always make a little excuse to keep them, right? Oh, I know I'm not going to go in there. They're just going to be for the kids. When the kids come over, whatever, they're just going to be for the kids.
Yeah.
And then 10 o'clock hits, and then that willpower is
Hmm.
disseminated. And for some reason, God just takes charge of your feet, and your feet just start walking towards the pantry, right? And
You got
then,
access to my cameras in here or something? Because I mean, you've
and
been
then
spying
and
on
then
me.
and then it's not just the cookies, but it's the cookies and then the pretzels. Then you're like, bro, I'm just gonna jump back on it tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
And so when you stop fighting for what you wanted, which was, good health, you wanted strength, you wanted vitality, damn, you wanted energy, you want your kids to see mama and daddy doing the right things. You wanted all those things, and you stop fighting for it in that moment. And so you stop fighting for what you really want, and what you don't want is going to show up. That
Hmm.
weight's going to show up. You're going to be tired again. You're going to be sluggish. Mentally, you're going to be judging yourself all damn day. You're going to be saying, damn, why couldn't I just do it? I should have did it. Man, maybe I'm a failure. Maybe this isn't right for me. Maybe I'm not going to approach my my other goals that I set. I can't even, stop putting these things into my mouth, then maybe I'm not going to hit my financial goals. Maybe I'm not going to be free. Maybe I
Mm,
can't start my own business, right?
yeah.
Maybe, oh, my friends just invited me to that spa. Maybe I'll just duck out and say I got something going on. Well, really, I don't have anything going on. I just don't want to take my shirt off around them. And so now what you don't want is now going to take over because you stop fighting for what you really, really wanted. And this
Right.
doesn't just happen in our physical health, but our mental and emotional health all the time. Our financial health, right? How easy is it to start building great wealth? It's really simple.
Yeah.
It's really simple. It's really simple. It's as simple as stop going to Starbucks,
Simple.
right?
Not
It's
easy,
it's it's
simple.
not no, I didn't say it was easy
That's
because
right.
if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But the structure of how to do it, right? And I'm leading into you talked about structure. I'm
Mhm.
leading into these things are simple to do. How simple is it? When you get paid, don't spend that whole paycheck.
Yeah.
Just save a little bit, save some crumbs, invest some crumbs, give some
Right.
crumbs away. That's simple. My kids do that. My kids started doing that at 2 years old. So of course us adults can do it, right? So what I'm talking about is we all know this. We all feel this. Most of the population is feeling this right now. But we all know what we do today has consequences for tomorrow. We all
Mhm.
know that. I was just talking to um, my wife. Her grandmother is like 80 something years old, and she just stopped smoking a few months ago. She's been smoking since she was probably like 13. And
That's
I asked
awesome.
her in my kitchen the other day, I said, why now?
Yeah.
And she says, well, I've known, but not until it gets to a point to where this path becomes more destructive than this path will we change. So last year, COVID hit. She got pneumonia a couple times and some really scary things happened. And I said, well, why not? Why'd you stop now? And she says, I saw how my kids looked at me when I was in hospital this last year, and I don't want to put that burden on them. For 70 years? Like come on, dude. We've known this for 70 years, but not until the pain of staying the same overruns the pain of changing will we
We
change.
won't. Yeah.
So when we
Yeah.
talk about structure, we're talking about, dude, don't wait 70 years. What we do tomorrow, we all know that it has a big effect on us. What we do today has a big effect on us tomorrow. So structure is simple, but it's not always easy.
Right.
It really takes us figuring out what do we really, 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 really want. And that takes being intimate with yourself more than you're intimate with other people. See, one of the biggest problems is we spend so much of our time focused on other people and other things. We don't spend enough time dating ourselves, being
Mm.
intimate with ourselves. What does Jamil want?
Hmm.
Oh yeah, I'll spend all the time thinking about, what my wife wants, what my kids want, what my bosses want. I'll spend all my time working on my job. I don't spend enough time working on myself. And so knowing what you really, really, really want takes effort with really figuring out, well, who am I? What does this dude want?
Yeah.
How do I want to show up in the world?
Yeah.
Shit, how do I want to show up in my pants?
Yeah.
Right? Like how do I
Yeah.
want my shirt to fit? Like just really being connected to what do I want? And then we got to be honest as to, well, where am I at right now?
Hmm.
And is this it's did I already score all the touchdowns that I want to score? Or am I not satisfied? And can I be honest? Like I talk to these high net earners, and I say, okay, if your job gets stripped away right now, your business gets stripped away, how long could you last? And the majority of times, they're like maybe a couple months. So I'm like, so what's real is You make a lot, but you don't have a lot. And if that gets taken away, you can't survive more than a couple months.
Yeah.
So if I was you, I would start to get honest with yourself. I make a lot, but I'm kind of broke. And maybe I should start doing some things that are different. And so in between there, we have choices every day. I got this one, I got this one. And then we have to start balancing those ones. Well, I really want to lay in the bed today. Well, I really want to be really healthy. Well, which one do I want more?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I really want to be really healthy. I know, but you don't feel like working out today. You should lay in the bed. No, I really, really want to be healthy. I just want to lay in bed.
Yeah.
So I do what I really, really want, even though I may not feel like it. And so this is working in structure. How can
Mm-hmm.
you do it anyway, even when you don't feel like it, because it's in alignment to what your highest goal is, what you really, really, really want. This is the difference between really successful people and unsuccessful people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that you're going to feel like it. Rarely will you feel like it in the moment. Now, once you start doing it, you'll start feeling like it most times, but rarely will you just be like, oh, yeah, dude, I just want to eat clean all day long, especially now, all these cakes and pies and stuff around.
Oh yeah.
Um, but you're doing it because you're working the structure. And then, so how do you make 2022 really successful is that you realize you're not going to want to do it, but you do it. I would really get help from
Mm-hmm.
someone, in those areas to where you want to succeed. You've taken the time, you've written it down, you've become intimate with yourself, you figured out what you want to do. I would definitely get some sort of coach or mentor in that area. If you're really striving, if part of 2022 is, man, my spiritual health is going to be on point. This is the
Yeah.
relationship that I want to have with my creator, my maker. Well, then you should get some sort of spiritual mentor. You should go work with that pastor, that priest, or whoever, right? You should find somebody. If it's health, don't try to do it on your own. Why? Because you
Yeah.
got a lot of blind spots. What you know has gotten you to the point that you are at now. So to keep traveling down that road trying to do it on your own, it's literally it's crazy town. It's craziness. Stop it. It's not going to work. So you need someone to point out blind spots. If it's with
Yeah.
your money, then get a financial coach, right? Get somebody. Um, but really have someone start to help you see things that you cannot see for yourself. Um, but basically, I was telling my son, that's why I'm not in, a perfect background or whatever, because we're just traveling up north. We usually bring in a new year up here in my favorite city. And so I was telling my son on the way up here, we have these brilliant talks. And I said, Ezra, basically, there's three things that I see that separates people. And I said, one is massive desire, right? Like you have to want things more than other people want them. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, two is massive action. You just have to outwork your competition. And my competition, don't look at it as like I'm in sports, right? And I'm trying to win this game. I'm trying to win the game of life. But just look at your cohorts, look at the people around you. I have to outwork them,
Yeah.
right? Like I have to be willing to run more laps than them. I have to be willing to do more push-ups. My little cousin came over and he was bragging about, you know, coming to work late and leaving early. And I was like, you're already limiting your ability to do well in life. He was like, yeah, because nobody sees. I said, it doesn't matter if anyone sees.
Right.
You see. You have to outwork people. When they go to sleep, you need to be awake. When they come, right on time, you need to come a little bit early. When they're looking at the 5 o'clock clock, I remember days I slept in my office. You have to outwork these people, and most people just don't want to work. And then I
Yeah.
told Ezra, I said, you have to have a lot of grit. You just mentioned your buddy who was doing great on plan. His friend said one thing and he quit.
Yep.
That guy, I don't know. I love him as a human being, but he's weak. Let's call a spade a spade. He doesn't have enough grit. You're not going to be really successful in 2022 if one difficult thing shows up in your life and you start quitting.
Yeah.
That's not grit. That's not grit. And most people quit too damn fast. They give up on themselves. They start sucking their thumb. They start complaining. Why do you think I was in a 2-year depression? Oh, my wife doesn't want to have this abortion. I guess life ain't gonna work out for me. I guess it's too hard. I guess I'm just gonna quit. Oh, all my
Yeah.
business isn't going the way I want to. I guess I'm just gonna quit. That's poor people's mindset.
Right.
Mm-mm.
Not
Don't do
anymore.
that no more.
No.
No, don't do
Not in
that. Don't do
2022.
that.
That time is
No,
over. That
you
time is
have
over.
to be strong mentally. You have to say, oh, okay, that happened. Do it again. I dare you.
Mhm.
Watch what happens. Watch
Yeah.
how I stand up in the face of this adversity. Oh, you don't believe it's gonna happen for me? Oh, I got a little stomach bug. Oh, this person went to walk out of my life. Oh, I got knocked down. Watch how I come back.
Hmm.
Watch how I
That's
come
right.
back. That mentality is what sets people apart, man. If you want to be awesome in this new year, whoo, I'm giving you the tools, man. I'm telling you what to do. Man, you gotta want it. You gotta go take it, and you gotta work for it, and you have to have this grit. And here's the deal: when people have those three things, other people are attracted to them.
Yeah.
And the difference between massive success and just a little bit of success is people. And when
Mm.
you have an attractive aura about you that I see what I want, I'm willing to work for it, and I don't care what happens. Dude, that is when people start following you. That's when doors start open. You ever walk into the grocery store and as soon as you get close to the door, it just opens
Yeah.
up?
They fly open.
This is how life is when people get those things. When
Mm.
they're really focused, when they're really serious, they don't even have to say anything and people can feel it. And they go,
Right.
damn, Josh, dude, what the hell happened to you? Bro, there's something different about you. And
Yeah.
you're like, I didn't even say anything. Don't need to.
Just feel it.
It
You
is
know
an
it.
energy. There it is.
Hmm. So true. It's so true. Everybody caught that, right? Massive desire, massive action, and grit. Those are the three things that will catapult you if you have those. And that grit, that last one that you just mentioned, the comeback. You're not going to knock me down. You're not going to take this away from me. No way. I am destined for too great a things for this to set me back. We that's a very, I wouldn't say we all, but most of us do always. I'm sorry. Let me say it again. Most of us do succumb to that that head trash. That oh, I got knocked down. This isn't for me. I'm gonna give up, or this is too hard, and I'm going to give up. I'm gonna take that, and I'm gonna run with that this year. I'm gonna take the grit
Mm,
portion of it, and well, actually all of it. I'm gonna run with that, Jamil. I started my 2021 pretty good, and by the middle of it I got beat down by a lot of things that I let beat me down. I mean,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
um, and there were a few months there where I just retreated into comfort and just let it happen to me. I let life happen to me, and I let it tell me I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do.
mm-hmm.
So that grit portion of it is really important. Something that I was lacking. I was lacking the grit. I thought I had it. I thought I had that just the desire and the action was good. But as soon as I got knocked down, I didn't get back up. So
Yeah.
I need that.
You know, I'm
I needed
sorry.
to hear
Go
that.
for it.
I needed to hear that
Yeah.
part about grit. I'm sure if I needed it, there's a lot of people out there that needed to hear that too.
I think that's why it's so important. You know, I said it in passing, but I hope that it was heard. And listen, I'm saying all these things. It don't mean that these things don't still happen to me.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm immune to them. No, no, no. They never stop. You know, they never stop. But it really is, how are you going to show up? You know, this year I had something big happen. I was at a conference, and I was speaking on the stage in front of a lot of people. Well, a lot is relative, a lot for me,
I was
probably
there.
12, 13,000 people. And um and I choked, and and the audience has faded and curtains had closed, and I didn't even make it back to the green room. And I was sitting there just right in the back of the stage for probably 15 minutes. And I'm just like devastated. I could not believe that this has happened to me. Like, I just could not believe it.
Yeah.
And how important of a moment it was for many different reasons and all these things. And then something happened, Josh. At the end of my or self-deprecating talk, and I'm never going to do this again, and I'm not going to go on a stage like that. And you start blaming all the time. That's usually the first thing we go to.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if the stage wasn't so wide, if they would have had my teleprompters where I needed them, why they have it off to the sides? It should have been straight back like it usually is. All this stuff. It's crazy. And for any sports fans out there, if anybody to watch the Lakers and stuff, um, an image popped in my mind, and it was Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. After this image went in my mind and out of my mind, I started laughing. So what happened was, like, Kobe's rookie year, they're in the playoffs against Utah, and he's this wonder boy, and he came in and he shot like two, three, four air balls in the waning moments, and everybody crushed him at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's supposed to be the man, and he couldn't even hit the rim. And that whole summer, he got crushed.
Yeah.
And in it, and he was being interviewed by someone, and he was like, "What's the big deal?" He goes, "All I do is I learned from this. So I went into the gym this summer, and while other people were shooting 100 shots, I shot 1,000 every day. So when I'm sitting in the back of that stage and I thought of Kobe, I said, "Oh, bro,
Mm-hmm.
I know what's happening here." I and I started chuckling to myself. I started laughing because I knew all that was another moment to where it's like God, the universe, whatever you want, is throwing something in front of you to see what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Are you going to fade away? Kobe could have easily faded away and just been another normal ass player, right? Or I'm never going to take the game winning shots again. This isn't going to happen for me. Same thing, same thing with me, in that moment or whatever. And I realized what it was. Oh, okay, 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 okay. This is another opportunity for me to get stronger.
Right.
I see.
It's your
Okay.
response.
Okay. Let's go. Okay, so all I need to do is, like Kobe win shot 1,000 free throws a day. In my industry, I just need to shoot 1,000 free throws. I
Yeah.
gotta be willing to do it. So let's go.
You got to have that Mamba mentality, right?
That's exactly what it is. That's that
Yep.
grit part, man. I tore
Mm-hmm.
my I tear my Achilles. I'm not limping off the floor. I'm gonna shoot these free throws and I'm gonna walk off.
That's right.
Like it's just a different mental, man. And I think when you start realizing that this whole thing is about that,
Yeah.
is about challenging your mentality.
Mm.
Challenge, and I'm going to keep challenging it until you prove that you've learned a lesson. And if you don't prove that you learned a lesson, I'm going to keep giving you the same issues until you die. Until you die.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. You will keep facing the same issues, the same obstacles until you find a way through them.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right. It's morbid and it's crazy, but that is life. And and
Damn. That's good.
yeah, it is.
That's true.
It is.
That's so true. Wow. Um, that is, uh, that is, that is a hard truth right there. You know that there's those hard pills to swallow, and that's one of them. You can't bury your head in the sand like an ostrich until the problem goes away. They keep coming around.
Hmm.
It's just the facts. And that's, oof. Um, oh, let me read this comment here from Sabrina. She says, "We're always being tested and guided, and we respond. How we respond determines the path ahead. If we keep having the same responses, we keep having the same results. If we keep challenging, we can think differently and do differently. Then our lives become vastly different." And
Wow.
Sabrina,
She should be on here. That was good.
I'm gonna have her on again because she came on before. She's got too much for just one show. So,
This thing, can I just say how sweet this thing is? I just realized people are commenting and stuff right now.
yeah,
Like this whole setup is
you like
legit.
it? Man,
I do.
I'm professional. It's appearance. When you're talking about how you really adopted or thought of that, that situation with Kobe and how you responded differently to it. You know enough to know that your response now is going to dictate the outcome next time.
Yeah.
When you face this situation, and you're not going to choke. You're going to pull through it. You're going to be able to improve on this situation because this is the lesson that you were learning and you embraced it. And I think that grit had a lot to do with it. And I think people need to be reminded of that their response is truly what matters the most in when we're facing adversity or issues or self-doubt or whatever it is, whatever the event is. Your response is what matters because that's what we can control and that's what we can change. So when you feel like quitting, when you feel like things aren't working out, when you just want to go away and retreat back into your comfort, into your couch, try something different. Try a different response so you get a different outcome this time. Another thing I also started to think more on and tell some of my clients is, when you were talking about your wife's grandmother who's just stopped smoking, and I know, and she knew, and I know, and our awareness of a situation, of a problem, of something we want is not enough in life.
That's right.
We just can't know that we want it. We have to experience that. We have to take those massive action steps necessary, and that's going to be our reality. So you have E plus R equals O with your event plus the response equals the outcome. I've also started with A plus E equals R, which is your awareness plus your experience is your reality.
Love it.
That's something I've also started to really think on more and understand in life, is that we have to not just know what we want, we have to experience it. We have to do it. And then that's our reality, not just knowing that I shouldn't eat this, or not just knowing that I should, not spend all my paycheck. I have to do it. You have to do it, not just know it, it's not enough to know it. So that's just, all of these things we pile on and we put on, and, better looking clothes each time. Every we're putting these things on, we look better and better, and then you know, all these structure and intention, everything we start to put on, every concept that we start to embrace really starts to catapult us towards that greatness. But it all really depends on your desire, the action you take, and your grit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
It really does.
if that sums it up right there, Jamil, I am grateful because you put it in such simple terms in 3 steps. Really, like you said, it's simple. These things are simple to do. We just have to do them.
Yeah. I think the last thing that I want to say, I think we spend so much time talking about the promise, um, the promises of life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew that I was going to become financially independent. That's a promise.
Mm-hmm.
After a couple weeks on this plan, I knew I was finally going to get below 200 pounds and get to a healthy weight. That's a promise. I knew that um, this company and this program was going to help me develop the mental capacity and skills that eventually was going to help me save my marriage and have a healthy relationship with my wife. That's a promise. I knew that eventually we would have thousands and thousands and thousands of clients and coaches, right? And we would build something huge. That's a promise. I knew that my kids would have a completely different understanding and paradigm of the world and what's available to them that I ever could have had as a youngster. That's a promise.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that we write down on this blank sheet of paper, those are the promises, Josh. What we don't spend enough time talking about are the prices that's going to need to be paid. And every year, right about now, because this is an interesting week, right? This is one of those weeks to where people go forward or they go backwards. People
Yes.
are getting prepared or they're making a decision to stay the same, right? This is a week from one year to the next year. And every year I have so many people calling me
Mm-hmm.
because they see now that the promise is true. They've been watching and watching and watching. They've seen this massive upward trajectory. They know it's possible. And so now they're excited.
Yep.
They either want to lose the weight or they want to start the business or they're tired of the boss telling them what to do or they want to have more time freedom or they want the whatever that is, right? They want to be happier, healthier,
Mm.
wealthier, whatever. And so now they're saying, all right, Jamil, it's go time, bro. I want to get going. And they want to get going because they see the promise, which is important. But what we got to start doing is preparing people that, hey, that's going to happen for you, but it's not going to come free. And
Yeah.
why I say that is because I could think of a handful of people that hit me up. I did because I'm in the area. I did multiple podcasts from the same city last year to where the people who did the podcast with me, they weren't involved in, our vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
But later they said, hey, dude, I had no idea that you guys were crushing it like that.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for as long as you've been doing that, and I'm nowhere close to having the joy, fulfillment, and success in my life. I want to come do what you're doing. Guess how long they lasted? To probably about springtime.
Mm.
And now they're gone.
Yeah.
Because look, you can have everything you want. You're just never going to get it for free.
Right.
And so you have to realize in order to get to where you want to get to, like God has to throw issues at you to see if you deserve it. You're not just going to get it because you're a nice person.
Mm.
You're going to get it because you deserve it, because you're
Mm.
willing to you're willing to keep getting punched in the face, and you're willing to go back to the drawing board and say, what am I supposed to learn from this punch in the face? How is this supposed to make me better?
Mm.
How is this supposed to make me bigger? How is this supposed to make me show up? And then if you take that next step, like what Josh was talking about, that's the response. Then you just prove that you just elevated just a little bit more. Now, it doesn't mean you elevate all to the top, but just a little step. And
Yeah.
then that's going to be nice and cozy for a little bit. And then you're going to get punched in the face again. And this is the process, man. The promise is up here. We all want to get up here in life. We all want to get up here. But it is a step by step process. And every step you are going to get socked in the face. I mean, there's no other way. And you have to be prepared for that. And you can't run away from it, be crying about it like most people do. And then making these silly excuses. Oh, maybe this isn't, maybe my husband was right. Maybe this isn't meant for me. Maybe this is God's way of showing me that this isn't for me. No, dummy. It's God's way of showing you that it is for you. You just got to learn the lessons and keep going.
Yep.
Right. So, like, for us, right, as coaches, as mentors, as leaders, as pastors, as physicians, as counselors, whatever, we got to work with our people better with saying, hey, dude, you are going to lose the 50 pounds. Okay. You are going to get healthier. You are going to come off these medications. You are going to have radiant health. You are going to build a better relationship with your daughter. You are going to foster encouragement. People are going to be inspired by your journey. All these things are going to happen, and it's probably going to happen in this time frame. Now, let me tell you about the prices you're going to have to pay.
Yeah.
You are going to have to tell your husband to start championing you. You probably are going to lose some friends. You're not going to be able to go to that party. Okay. You may lose a job. Like, these are the things that come with that. So I know you're ready to do one, but are you ready to face all of the challenges that are going to come from you wanting to be free?
That's the tipping point. Will you pay the price that it takes to get to where you want to go?
Yep.
And that is why I feel people need to sit down and write out and be very serious and very clear about their goals and why they want them. If you don't layer down on your why, what did you say a couple weeks ago? 7 layers down? You have to ask yourself, why do you want this? Why do you want it? Why? You have to keep asking yourself until you find just that solid gold reason that nobody can take away from you. That nobody will be able to talk you out of something that you've been desiring, that you want, that you need in your life, that you have to dig down. It's not going to be the surface level. I just want to fit into my jeans. It's not surface level. When intrinsic motivation comes into play, it's because you've done the digging. So, yeah. You guys, if you're not inspired right now, you haven't been watching. You haven't been listening. If you guys are not nodding your head as I was this whole time, you have your volume down. Probably that's why. My goodness, Jamil, thank you so much for all of this. Gosh, you guys, rewatch this. Watch it again. Bring out a piece of paper and a pen. Write some of the stuff down that we've been saying, that Jamil's been talking to us and just pouring into us with. These are the things, and again, we talked about surroundings and people that you place in your life, and you think of it as like the Knights of the Round Table, right? That you sit around and especially in these times with pandemic going and and everybody not having that camaraderie and that fellowship as readily available to us as has been in years past. It's very important for us to have these surroundings. So, start taking in these things that Jamil was saying. Some of these things, these are people who've been successful in different areas in their lives. They're successful for a reason. So let's rewatch this. Write some of this stuff down. Think about it. Put it up on on your refrigerator. Write it on your bathroom mirror. Something that you can remind yourself every day with. Those are the things that are going to help us get to where we want to go. We're going to get in the right vehicle. We're going to drive ourselves to where we want to go. And yeah, I just, I want to say, or Sabrina says, thank you for spending extra time to pour into us, Jamil. And I want to echo that. Thank you so much for pouring into all of us. You are an amazing person. And I love everything that you've been doing the past 9 years. And we really hope to watch you in the next 9 years and watch where this goes. And hopefully we're all along on the journey this time.
I have no doubt. Thanks for having me on, brother. I really appreciate it.
This was great.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to
Absolutely.
everyone.
Happy New Year to you and your family. Merry Christmas. And as always, everybody, if you are looking to see more about what this program is, if you are curious, you want to level up in your life, you got a few pounds to lose, and you really want to do something different, always reach out to me, reach out to Jamil, any of the other fantastic coaches that we've had on this program, and we will meet you where you're at. We'd love to hear your story and how we can help. So everybody, thank you so much. Again, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and let's start 2022 right. And next week, we'll be back with another Healthy Trinity Show. Take care.